My name is Lena Hartman. I am 35 years old. Until a month ago I believed I was weeks away from starting a stable adult life with the man I trusted the most. We were together for 4 years. Engaged for 9 months. Our wedding date was already printed on invitations sent across 2 countries. Everyone around us believed it was settled. I believed it too. What ended everything was not a betrayal with another woman. Not a dramatic argument. Not a loud explosion. It ended quietly. The kind of quiet that makes you realize you have been walking on unstable ground for a long time without noticing. I live in northern Germany. I work as a project coordinator in renewable energy. My job is demanding but fulfilling. Long hours, deadlines, planning across teams and time zones. I loved my work long before I met Jonas. Jonas and I met through mutual friends. He was charming in a calm, confident way. Not loud, not flashy. He listened well. He remembered small details. In the beginning I felt seen. Looking back now, the change started shortly after we announced the engagement. At first it felt like stress. He wanted to be involved in every decision. The venue, the guest list, the food, the colors. I did not resist. I thought it was normal. Weddings make people anxious. Then the control slowly spread. It stopped being about the wedding. It became about me. He began commenting on my schedule. Why I stayed late at work. Why I met certain friends. Why I did not answer my phone immediately. He framed everything as concern. He asked where I was eating lunch. Who was with me. Why I chose one route home instead of another. Once he mentioned my phone location was turned off and said it worried him. I laughed it off. I told myself he cared. I was tired all the time. Not just physically, mentally. I was constantly explaining myself. Reassuring him. Adjusting small behaviors so things would feel easier. The real shift happened when finances entered the picture. He suggested we merge accounts for convenience. I said no politely. I preferred to keep things separate until after the wedding. He did not argue, but his mood changed. A few weeks later I noticed unfamiliar charges on my credit report. A new card. Joint account. I did not remember approving it. When I confronted him he smiled and said it was practical. That it was our future. That I was being dramatic. I felt something tighten in my chest that day. Still I stayed. The final moment came on a Friday evening. I had worked late for almost 2 weeks preparing a project launch. I was exhausted. My body felt heavy. My thoughts slow. That night Jonas told me we were expected at his parents' house the next morning. I told him I could not. I needed rest. Just this once. He stared at me and said calmly that I would go. That his parents were expecting me. That this was not optional. I told him I was exhausted. That my health mattered. He stepped closer and said if I did not come the wedding was off. There it was. Clear, sharp, unmasked. In that moment something inside me settled. Not panic. Not fear. Clarity. I realized this was not about his parents. It was about control. About testing limits. About seeing how much of myself I would give up to keep the peace. I looked at him and said quietly that if our relationship depended on obedience then it was already over. His face changed instantly. Shock. Anger. Then confusion. He told me I was tired. That I did not mean it. That we could talk. I picked up my bag and left. I did not have a plan. I drove without thinking. Past familiar streets. Past places full of shared memories that suddenly felt distant. I stopped at a small hotel near the train station. Nothing special. Clean. Anonymous. Safe. That night I barely slept. My phone vibrated constantly. Calls. Messages. I did not answer. The next morning I contacted a lawyer. A woman named Sabine Keller recommended by a colleague. She specialized in family and financial law. She listened without interrupting. Asked precise questions. When I mentioned the credit card her expression changed. She told me clearly that what Jonas did was not just controlling. It was illegal. We spent hours documenting everything. Statements, messages, timelines. She prepared formal notices. Financial separation. Demand for debt responsibility. Cease contact warning. When I left her office I felt something unexpected. Relief. The papers were delivered the following Monday. By courier. Signature required. The calls started within minutes. I did not answer. The messages changed tone quickly. Apologies turned into accusations. Promises turned into threats. I documented everything. 2 days later Jonas showed up at my workplace. Security escorted him out. I filed a report. A week later his lawyer sent a letter claiming shared responsibility. Sabine responded with evidence. They withdrew. Slowly the truth surfaced. Friends asked questions. I told the facts calmly. No drama. No emotion. Some believed him. Most did not. I received a message from a woman I had never met. She had dated Jonas years earlier. Her story mirrored mine. The same patterns. The same escalation. I was not alone. I was not imagining things. 3 weeks later Jonas signed the agreement. The debt remained his. The wedding was officially cancelled. He sent me a letter. Blaming me. Calling me weak. I felt nothing. I moved into a small apartment of my own. Quiet. Bright. Mine. I changed my number. My routines. My life. Months have passed now. I am not engaged. I am not planning a wedding. But I am free. That ultimatum was never meant to be a choice. It was meant to be a leash. I refused it. And that moment gave me my life back.